Hello everyone, can you hear me? We will start our training right now.
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so now let's begin the training of today. Today I will show you how to do the configuration of our devices. So if you want to do configuration, please try to contact us to get a software which is called HDR Bus Pro Setup 2. And then you can install this. Then you can start the programming of all the devices. First, please let us learn about all the functions of these options. Let's go to Option. Here, you can set the subnet ID and the select IP. The select IP part is very important because this is the IP segment, and the gateway IP segment must be the same, so that you can search devices under the same IP segment. As my computer are connected to Ethernet and Wi-Fi, so I have two IP. If I select the wrong IP, because the gateway's IP is not in this IP segment, so I cannot search any device. So if I select the right IP, so I can search all the device. Let me select this. After select the right IP, then please click Faster Search. Then the devices will appear. But Faster Search may not search all the devices, so please, you can click one more time to search all of them. If still some devices are missing, I will show you how to find it. So this is the function of Faster Search. And if I select the wrong IP, let me delete all this. And then select the wrong IP because my gateway's IP is not in this IP segment. So you can see from the bottom, then the IP became this one. And then I click Faster Search. Then I cannot find the gateway. So please switch to the correct IP. And then click OK. So now you can see I can find all the IP. Find the IP module and all the devices. You can see here is the IP, and you can double click the model column. You can see the IP segment is the same. They are in the same IP segment, so we can find the device. So we always recommend that you use your computer, connect to the Ethernet switch, and your IP gateway also connect to the same IP, to the same Ethernet switch. So that's the easiest way for you to find all the devices. Sometimes my customers will come across issues like they can't find any device when they select the same IP but cannot find device. Then in this time, you can long press the PROG button for 15 seconds, and it will reset to the original IP, which is 192.168 and 10 and XX and 250, and then you can go to your computer to change the IP address of your computer. Then you can find all the devices successfully. Sometimes when the IP are the same, but you still cannot find the devices, then please go to Advanced Search and click this Search Network Device and click Search. So you can find the IP, you can find network device, and then if it is not in the same IP segment as your computer, you can double-click it to modify them until they are in the same IP segment as your computer. Then click Save. You can change it. Click Save so that you can find all the devices. So let's move back to the option one more time. This, if you are making a programming of Bus Pro devices, then you can not check all these boxes. So if you are doing the configuration of a hotel project and you are using the host module and RCU, you can check the setting hotel option. Then you can search RCU for programming. So then you can keep the setting like this, because we are now programming a project of Bus Pro system. So we don't have to check any of these boxes. And this is a remote access. So if you have made some remote information in here, then you can enter the group name and the project to search. Then you can find the projects. Later, I will introduce it in detail. So enter my group name and then search. We'll have a project. So if you are not on site and you want to do some modifications of the functions, you can use this remote access to access the project and do programming so that you don't need to go to site to do it. That's very convenient. Later, I will introduce in detail. It's quite easy. So this is the functions of option and fast search. You know, it is used to search all the devices. And the data backup. For example, you have a project, which is a hotel room, which is a hotel, and some of the rooms have the same functions and the programming are the same. Then you can make data backup. For example, let me do this. For example, the hotel rooms have the same programming as this AC module. Then I don't want to do it one by one and programming over and over again. Then I can make a data backup. Before make data backup, as you are on site to do the programming, then please switch back to local network. Then if I want to make a backup, then just click this option and select the AC module and do backup. So please name it, for example, AC. Then click Save. So it will make a backup. Let me see. Then it tips backup success. So it is make a backup successfully. Then I go to program another project, and this AC I don't want to program again. Then I can make the data restore, and then I can use this. And then if in another project, the device ID and subnet ID is not the same as this project, but they are the same programming. So you have to change the subnet ID and the device ID according to the real situation. For example, my another project's subnet ID is 2 and the device ID is 32. Then just rename it and then click restore. Then it will restore all of them. So that's to say the data can be reused by data backup and the data restore. That's the way to do it. So if you have apartments and hotel projects, you can do this. Then make the configuration much easier. So this is the function of data backup and the data restore. So if I'm introducing all the functions you have any, and I did not make it clear, please type it and I will answer them one by one. So let's move on to our advanced search. So this is for search network device I have showed you. So if you click faster search and you are 100% sure that your wiring is correct but cannot find any device, then you can click this to search and change the IP segment until they can search all the devices. So this is the usage of the search network device. And we also have advanced search. For example, you cannot find a device, but you can remember the subnet ID and device ID. So you can enter the subnet ID and device ID from 1 to 5, for example, and then you can click this search to find the device. Or manually, for example, this DLP panel, I cannot find this in when I click faster search, but I can remember the subnet ID and device ID of this DLP panel. Then I can enter the subnet ID and device ID of the DLP panel and then click manually add. Then it will add successfully. So that's how to find the device that you cannot find it. So that's the use of advanced search. And you can use this. For example, you have a subnet ID. For example, my subnet ID, let me change it. Modify address. So I can adjust the subnet ID and device ID of the gateway. I change it to 2. You can see the address of the gateway will become 2 now, the subnet ID. And also, I want to change all the devices under this gateway. Please note that if your subnet ID of the gateway is 2 and the devices connect to this gateway, the subnet ID must be the same as the gateway. Otherwise, when you try to do programming, it will tip timeout. You cannot open the basic information page to do programming. It will tip timeout. So sometimes when our clients came to us and said, always tip timeout. Why? Because first you can check if the device's subnet ID is not the same as the gateway. Only they are the same will work. So you can go to this, click advanced search, and add address mode device. I have opened this page. Then you can click enter 2 and enter 1 and click auto modify. When you click Auto Modify, then all the devices connect to the gateway. You have to press the PROG button, and then when you hear a sound, then you can change all the devices accordingly. So you don't have to change them one by one. Because my camera is not good, so I have take a record of this, how to change the devices automatically, and later I will send it to you. Otherwise, I will show you how to do this. But the camera is not good, so you can see the real effect. But I have taken a record, and later I will send it to you, so you will understand how can you change the subnet ID automatically. So you don't have to change it one by one. You can increase the efficiency to some extent. Now I need to change it back. So yesterday, one of our friends asked how to change the device. You can right-click this and then select Modify Address to change the subnet ID and device ID. That's how to do it. See, now it came back to subnet ID 1. And also, you can double-click the subnet ID column or device ID column to enter this page. So you can modify the subnet ID and device ID. And please note, sometimes you may come across issues. So when you try to find us to help you to select to solve the issues, we may ask you to provide the MAC for us. Then please double-click the subnet ID and device ID and just copy the MAC and send it to us. Please do not go to the basic information of the gateway and copy the IP MAC for us. So it is not correct. So please, if we ask you for the MAC of the device, please double-click it and then copy it and send it to us. As I said yesterday, the device ID of the gateway must be 0. So that's it, 0. So this is the use of the advanced search, and this search link gateway, as we have link gateway, so you can use this to search link gateway. But today is basics, so I don't explain this. If you want to learn about it, please contact me. And the target, so you can make targets template and the global things. You can make it, but we seldom use this time. So now let's move on to our function option. Here, sometimes we may ask you to upgrade the device. Upgrade the device firmware so that we can fix some bugs. So if we ask you to read the device model number and the hardware version and the firmware version and send us a screenshot, you can just double-click it to read. And sometimes when you double-click the hardware version, it will tip timeout and cannot read it. Then please click Function and go to Upgrade Device page, and then select the device. You see the subnet ID and device ID of the gateway, and then read the device type. So the device model will show, and this is the hardware version of the gateway, and then you can send us a screenshot. So we will know what is your current firmware version and the hardware version. Then we will send you the correct firmware to do upgrade. So that's how to use it. And manually upgrade. For example, for case, you can now search your IP module and your wiring is correct. The IP address is correct, but you can't find it. So we will guide you to do manually upgrade. After manually upgrade, you can find the device. And the other functions, we will use it later. So I will explain them when we using it, so you will not be confused. So I won't explain this right now. This image function and AI learner function, I will use them during the programming, so I will explain them later. And here is a initialization. For example, I make some programming for this DLP panel, but I don't want it anymore. I don't want to delete it one by one. Then I can click this initialization. And always remember, I want to initialize the DLP panel. Then you have to select the DLP, which is subnet 1 and device 7. And then click read MAC. And when the MAC was read, and then click initial, then you can initialize the DLP panel. So which is important is that you have to select the right device. Don't initialize devices mistakenly. Then you will have to do programming one more time. So always remember to select the right device to do initialization. So now the initialization has been finished. And then click this. As you have done the initialization, then please delete all these devices. You can right-click any column and then delete all devices, or you can press Ctrl and plus the key A to do the clear all the device, and it will disappear. And then click faster search again. So let's go to the DLP to see. So now there is no data. You see, it is empty. So that's how to do it. And the language, this software only supports English and Chinese in normal situation. If you want the other languages, please contact yourselves to do the customization. And the tool, for example, sometimes when you have our logic module, you want it to turn on all the lights at every day, every 6 o'clock in the morning. But one day, it turned on all the lights at 18 o'clock. Then we will have to find the mistake. So you can go to this page and select the subnet ID of the light. For example, it is of the relay module, and then clear all, and then the object device. And then, for example, at 18 o'clock, it will appear all the commands at 8 o'clock. So you can take a screenshot for these commands and send to us technical support. Then we will read the commands, read the log, and then help you solve the issues. So And you can use this to control devices. Later, after do some configuration, I will show you how to do it. And if you want to know all the commands, what does each command mean? And this is something about our protocol. If you want to know it, then please contact your sales. They will help you get this. So this is log function. You can log it. And for help, so you can read the version of the software. Sometimes your version is too old. You can send a picture to us of this, and then we will send you new software to upgrade. So that's the functions of all these options. And some options I will explain later, so you will know how to use it. So after this, let me see. Okay, no questions, right, at present. So now let's move on. We will start our programming with our relay module. It is quite easy. So now let's find our relay module. This one is our relay module. And you can make a remark for it. For example, this relay module is for your bedroom. And then click OK. Because in a project, you may have so many relays, so you have to make a remark for it. So it will remind you which is which. And then if you want to change the address, the device ID of the relay module, then double click it to change it. I want to change it into this one, so that's the way to do it. But always remember, the subnet ID must be the same as the gateway, otherwise it will take timeout. And then if you want to do configuration, then you can double click the description column, double click it, and then it will enter the basic information of the relay module. So now it is the relay module. This is the basic information of it. You can see 1 subnet ID and device ID 5. And then as it is a 4-channel 16 ampere relay, so we can see here are 4 channels. And then this is for a name. For example, this is my bedroom light 1. And this is bedroom light 2. You can make some remark. We always recommend to make some remark, because if you have to program many projects, how do you know which is which after some time? So we always always recommend to do this. For example, this is for living room, and this is living room 2. After you make some remarks, please always remember to press save. If you do not press the save button, then the remarks will disappear when you re-enter this page. And this is the on delay. On delay and on protect delay are the same. So if you put some time in this page, then it will have some on delay, and this is off delay. So you can make an off delay. off delay and off-flow tag delay are the same. You can set at both the place. And this is for test. For example, you want to test if the relay can work or not. Then you can click the test. Then, as it is a relay, so the relay will having a beeping sound. Or if the relay are connected to some light, then the light will turn on or turn off while you are check this box. So this is for the use of test. So you can test whether the light will work or not. So now let's move on. And this is the zone setting. As you can see, I have made some remarks. This is for channel 1 and channel 2 are for my bedroom, and channel 3 and channel 4 are for my living room. As this relay module are serving two different places, so I have to divide it to different zones. So let me delete. When we make a zone, then I can make a thing to turn on and turn off all these at one time. So I don't have to turn on a light one time and turn on another at another time. So I can do it with one button. So if you want to create a zone, you can click this add a zone. And this is for my bedroom. Then modify name. So this is bedroom. As this light, as this channel 1 and channel 2 are for bedroom, then click this. So it will appear in the zone 1 bedroom very fast. And I want to add another zone, which is my living room. Then I can click this and then type a remark, living room, and then modify name. So it is living room, and then press this. Then the channel will appear, and then press save. Please always remember to press save. Otherwise, your programming will disappear. You have to do it one more time. After you create this, then you can create a scene. Then, for example, you can create an all-on scene. Then you can turn on the lights in zone 1 at one time. So, and guys, please note that scene number 0 is all off by default. You can now change it. This is all off by default. So if you want an all off scene, then you don't have to make it. So as you want to make a scene for each zone, then you have to select it. For example, I want to make a scene for zone 1. Then I want to make an all on. So then change it all on, right? As I want an all on scene. So this is all off by default. I can now change it. When I click this, nothing will happen. But then I will select on or off. Then that's, and I want 1 on, 2 off. Then I can 1 on, right? 2 off. So that's how to make a scene. And I also want the same for my living room, so I can do it. All off by default. Off. And all on. So I can change it. And 1 on, 2 off. You can change it and press save. So the runtime is like you want the scene to be all on, and as all on, the intensity of the light will be 100%. Because for the relay, the intensity of the light only have 0 intensity or 100% intensity. So if you want the runtime to be 4 seconds, then it will take 4 seconds for the lights in the living room to reach the full intensity of it. So this is the use of the runtime option. So you want it to be 4 seconds. You want it to open it very slowly. It takes 4 seconds. Then you can do something like this and press save. So if you want to test if you make a mistake or not, for example, this is an all-on scene, right? So each channel have to be on when I press a button. I can test from here directly. You can click Output on site. Then you can see the real situation of all the lights by click this. So if you find SI channel 1 and channel 2 must be on in this scene, but one scene is not on, then you can find if you make mistake in the programming and change accordingly. And you can also test. So sometimes you want the scene to restore to the same scene before power off, then you can click this box. If you want to make the relay back to a specified scene, then you can click this and then enter the scene number. Then it will restore to the scene after power on again, after the relay restart. So that's the way to do it. And then press save. So we have made some things for the relay module. And also, if I want to do some sequence, for example, I want the light first. So it's something like a show. For example, I want the light to be on and then be off automatically, and then be one on and one off. And then that's the way to do it. So the sequence, each step of the sequence comes from the scene. So now let me show you how to do this. So for example, I want to make a show. And then I want a mode to be forward. And the runtime, run like 7 times for the show. You can select as you want. Or never stop. I want 7 times. And the step, I want it for move 4 steps and make it valid. And then press save. So I want the first step, the light to turn on or on, and then 1 on and 2 off, and then all off, and then all on. So as I make this, then when I press some button, then the sequence, then the lights will move different steps according to the programming of the sequence. So the light in your house will all on and all off, and then something like this. And please note, if you have made some runtime for the scene, as I make in the living room, right? Do you remember it's 4 seconds? So when you go back to make the scene, so if I make the same 4 seconds for the runtime for my bedroom, then the durations as the sequence will move each step, which is the scene, then the time must be longer than 4 seconds. For example, 8 seconds for each of them. Otherwise, the sequence cannot work because it takes 4 seconds for each scene to reach its full intensity, to reach the fixed intensity, but the time does not meet, then it will not work properly. So always remember the duration must be longer than the runtime of the scene. Otherwise, it will not work. But I don't make any runtime for the bedroom, so I don't have to make it this longer. Then I can select all of them and press Shift button and the Control button to change them at one time. That's a shortcut. So you can press the Control button and Shift button when you select all this, so it will change accordingly. For example, I want to change it to 6 seconds. So I can change it at one time. I don't have to change it one by one. So that's a shortcut. So now I have finished making some scene and the divide zone for the relay and also create a sequence. Then how can I use the panel to trigger the targets? Now I will show you how to do it. The stairlight function I will show you later. So now let's go to a DLP panel. This is our DLP panel. Double click model column or description column to enter the setting of the DLP panel. So here, as I said yesterday, our DLP panel have 4 normal pages and the AC page and the floor heating page, music, and the sleep group setting. So if you don't want, because you may not have so many targets, you don't have to use each page. So you can disable this page by doing this. And the AC, if you want, you can keep and then press save. So you can select whether it will return to the standby page or not, or you can return to page 1. So you can select. And the temperature feedback. As the DLP panel has a temperature sensor, you can broadcast the temperature to the bus, and you can enter the subnet ID and the device ID of it, and the type you can select the temperature type. And also you can adjust the LED backlight. So this is the very basic functions. When you will know how to use it when you see it. So I don't explain in detail, so we can show you more functions. So you can also select echo mode and press save. So let's go to do some programming to trigger the targets of relay. So this is page 1 and the bottom 1. I want to trigger my bedroom light 1. And the mode, because I just want to trigger a single channel, I can use a single on or single off. It depends on what I want, but I want it to be toggle, can control on and off. Then I select a mode for this button, and that is single on and off, and press save. Always remember to press save. If you do not press save, then when you go to target setting, it will not work. Then click target setting. So page 1, bottom 1, read the target. So now have to enter the targets because I want to trigger the target of the relay. So I have to enter the relay subnet ID and device ID, and that is 1 subnet 1. And sorry. And this is device ID 5. And type single channel control because I want to control a single channel. And for the parameters 1 and I don't know, if you don't know which is which, then you can press save. The software will give you some hints. Parameter 1 is for the channel number, so you can enter the channel number that you want to trigger by this button. Then select parameter 1. And the intensity, please press 100%. And then press save. Also, you can set some runtime at this parameter. So if you put 4 seconds in this box, then it will take 4 seconds to reach the full intensity.
हो रही है, चल रही है मीटिंग आज, ट्रेनिंग आज कल वाली मीटिंग चल रही है।
Press save.
वही करवा रहे हैं पहले वाले जो पहले से।
Sorry, I will have to mute. Okay, press save and press save here. This targets create is the same, but nowadays we don't use this. So if you want to create some targets for the DLP panel, please always create targets here. Then press save. So that's how to do it. And I also want to trigger the scene number 1 or on. So I can use one button to turn on the lights of the relay in my bedroom. Then I can create a remark first. So you can create as you want. And then you can also select single on and off because you only want to control a scene. Then press save. Go to target setting and then read. Enter the subnet ID and device ID and see as you want to control a scene, then select the type as scene. And then if you don't know the parameters, press save again. So this is the zone number 1. As you see, the zone number 1 is my bedroom for the relay, right? If you don't remember, we can go back to the relay module to see it. So zone number 1 is my bedroom. So I want to trigger scene 1. Then press save. And press save again in this page. So you can use the relay to trigger the scene number 1 in the zone 1 of the relay. And if I want to trigger the sequence name is called a show. And then also single on and off. Press save and go to target setting, read, and enter the subnet ID and device ID because all the targets comes from the relay module, which is subnet ID 1 and device ID 5. And then press sequence because this time I want to control the sequence. And this is for the zone number 1 because I create a show for my bedroom, which is zone number 1. And the sequence number is 1, right? If you don't remember it, then you can go to the sequence setting to see it. Zone number 1 and the sequence number is 1. Then enter the targets accordingly and always remember to press save. Then you can go to the DLP panel to test whether these targets will work. If not work, then please check if you have saved the targets by pressing save button. And if you don't want to work to the DLP panel to press it to test, you can double click. You can double click the name column, then it will also trigger the targets. So I can hear a beeping sound of my relay because it can trigger targets. Or you can go to let me see this question. I am giving you the basic devices like relay, yes, but security does not contain in this course, so I will not introduce security part. If you want to learn about it, I will send you user manual for it because this is for the basics and the security is a little bit complicated. So I will not recommend introduce how to use our security module, but lighting control, shading control, and the climate control will be contained in this course. So now let's continue. So we have made it. As you see, the DLP panel has, let me go to find a, oh.
Hi, Michelle. We can't see your screen.
Yeah, I am fixed. Okay, can you see right now? Okay, so the DLP each has so many buttons. So if I want to, let me give you an image of our DLP panel. So you can see the DLP is something look like this. So if we don't make a remark for each button, then it is difficult for end user to know which target is which button control which devices. So now I will show you how to make some remarks or some label on this screen so that for each button, so the end user will know it. So now I will show you how to do it. As I have made some targets for the first three buttons of page 1, then let me go to the function. And I don't recommend this, right, the option. So now I will introduce you how to use it. Click image. And then find the subnet ID and device ID of the DLP. As the first button is control bedroom light 1. Then you can go to make a remark for it. And for a button like this, then it is, right, this is a button. So this is button 1. Button 1. So I will make a remark for it. Then enter a name, bed. As this is so, the space is not large enough, so I will make some abbreviation so I will know which is which. Then you can adjust the size of the characters from here. And if you want it to, you can adjust the position of it. And then when you make a remark for it, for the bottom one, because it trigger the bedroom light 1, then drag this to this position, and then you have make a remark for the first button of the DLP. And here is an important thing. Please always click inverse and then drag this to this position. The reason for this is, as you know, the light, the relay has two status, right? On and off. If you don't make this, then when the relay gives you a feedback, when you control it, then you won't know whether it is on and off. So you can make it, then it will appear like this. So it is very important. When I first learned it, I always forget to make this. So if I have 2 panels to control the same light, if I don't make this, then how can I know the status of the light? So this is the most instinct way to know the status of the light. And as we can, then we can clear all and inverse. As the button 2 is control R or on, I can copy this and put here and adjust the size. So you can see it will appear. And also, this is button 2 in page 1. Drag this. And also inverse. Here, and then click upload. Select this one and click upload. And after this upload finished, you will know how to, then the icons will appear in the DLP accordingly. So that's how to make it. And I also will show you another way. Please wait it to program finished. Sometimes you want button 3 and the button 4. You may want button 5 and button 6 to control the same targets, so you can make a combination of it. So now I will show you how to do it and how to make a let's wait for this. So have to wait it until it is uploading finished. Now it is finished, and then the DLP will have some remarks. So if I want to combine button 5 and 6, how to do it? So let's go back to the DLP. And I want to combine button 5 and the button 6. So let's go to target setting. Go to the associate type. Sorry. Go to the button status. So if you want to combine button 5 and the button 6, then please go to the click button status and let me show you one more time. Button status will enter this page and then select the page and the button accordingly. I want to combine button 5 and the button 6. Then I can make it enabled. So it will make a combination of these 2 buttons and press save. You can see now the 2 buttons has same color. So button 5 and the button 6, actually they are now became one button. And then make a targets for it. For example, I wanted to do a combination on and off. Press save. Why I do this, I will show you later. Go to target setting. As single channel, single on and off, when you read, it will only have one target. But when you use combination on and off, then it will have 99 targets. But this time, I just want to use 2 targets in this button, then press read. If I want more targets, I can press read, so it will read so many targets for me to do the programming. So this time, I want to use 2 of it. And I want to control the scene on both bedroom and the living room of the relay. So let me enter this, and I want to control scene, right? And I want to control scene 1, and the zone number 2 is for my living room, and 2, and press save. So enter the zone number and scene number accordingly. So you will have a combination mode. So if you want more targets, for example, in the future, you may make a project and you want a button to control so many different targets, then you can read and then select, enter the subnet ID and select different control type. For example, scene, sequence, universal switch, and the curtain switch, and so on. You can select them and accordingly, and always remember to press save. Then the software will give you hints to enter in the parameters. Then you can finish the configuration and press save. Then we finished. And always remember to make a remark. For example, just this one, and press save. So how to make a remark for a combination button? Then you can clear all, and then select the correct right size for the button. Then so if you don't know which size is for the combination button, you can select them first. It will tip you. So I choose this size and then make some adjustment. And then drag this. So it will appear in here. And the inverse, right? So that's how to do it. And then click upload. Because upload takes time. I don't upload it right now. And have to tell you that only single channel control have feedback. Sinks and the combination control mode will not have feedback. So that's the real situation of our products. I will tell you in advance. So that's how to do it. So you know how to trigger the targets right now. If I'm not making it clear, then please ask me. Then I can show you one more time. So that's how to do it. And we also left a function of this bedroom, and this is a stair light. For example, if you want a light to auto close, you can use this stair light function. You can enable the stair light function for the bedroom, just for example, and enter some time. For example, you want it to automatically turned off in 10 seconds. Then that's the way to do it. And you can test from here. Now it's on. And after 10 seconds, it will turn off automatically. That's the function of the stair light. So now it turned off automatically. And you can also use this channel 1 and channel 2 exclusion. If you enable this, let me disable this first. If you enable the channel 1 and channel 2 exclusion, then this and press save. That means when channel 1 is on, then channel 2 will off and be off. And the channel 2 is on and the channel 1 will be off accordingly. So that's an exclusion. With this function, you can use the relay module to control curtains. So that's the usage of the channel 1 and channel 2 exclusion. But have to tell you in advance, not all of our relay module have this function. So if you want to use the relay to control the curtain, then you can ask us in advance if this relay module support this function. That's the way to do it. So this is the relay module. And for the dimming module, it's quite the same, their functions. But the programming are the same, but the basic information are some difference. So let's learn about it. So you can select voltage, go to the dimming module, select voltage according to the real situation, and make a name for each channel. And this is for the low limit. And this is for high limit. And this is the max level for the light. For example, if you change this to 50, then the maximum level of the light can only reach 50%. No matter you put 80, 60, then it will only appear the light of 50. And this is the dimming curve. So you can select the dimming curve from this box. And also this is for the test. So you can test on and off here. And the zone settings, scene setting, and sequence setting are the same. So I will not introduce them one by one. The only difference between the relay module and dimming module is that the brightness of the light of the relay can only be 0 or 100%. But for dimming module, as it can do dimming, so it can be any brightness. For example, 10, 20, 60, and the intensity you can put as you want. So when you make a scene, it will not only be on and off. It doesn't appear on and off, but an intensity you can adjust or put the intensity number here. For example, this one. So the dimming module, the same. The scene number 0 are always off by default. So that's how to do the dimming module of our system. So am I clear about this? If I'm not clear, please tell me. I will show you one more time. If no questions about, okay. So if we don't have these questions for this part, let's move on. We also, some of you may have the granite display. So let me show you how to make some configuration for the granite display. So as the same as the DLP, here is the basic information. You can adjust the backlight and the proximity sensor sensitivity. You can adjust from here, and the standby time. And you can change the language for your DLP panel, and sleeping light, you can adjust the intensity of it. And you will have shortcut sync for the DLP panel. Let me show you an interface of the DLP. No. So I entered the granite display. So this is our granite display, and in the home page, if you want to make some shortcuts, for example, a shortcut for a scene, a shortcut for a function, then you can make it appear in the home page, so you can control the targets very fast. You don't have to enter the page of it. Then you can enable the shortcuts. Our granite display supports shortcut for 3 things, and the shortcut for 3 pages like light page and so on. So if you want to make a shortcut, so please enable these shortcut settings. If you don't enable this, then you may not have the shortcut function. So some of our clients may ask, why you said support 3 shortcuts for scene, but I can only add 1 of it. Then please go to the basic information page to check if you have ticked all these boxes. When you tick it, you enable it. And the way to make a shortcut is quite easy. You only have to find the scene, and at the right side, here is a heart-shaped button. When you click it, it will appear. The scene will appear in the home page, so you can make a shortcut. And for the function page, as the granite display have different function page, for example, light, curtain, and scene, and so on. Then you just have to drag the light page, the light function, drag to the home page, and it will appear automatically. Then you can make a shortcut. So as I have showed you how to trigger targets of relay, then from DLP, I will also show you how to trigger targets from our granite display. Then you can add, you can click. We don't recommend to do this when you have so many targets, but if you just have few targets, you can click the relay from here, and then show all the channels here, and then drag it to this. So you can control the, control the channel 1 of the relay from the granite display. Press save. But if you have too many targets, Then please enter the subnet ID just like what you do in the DLP and enter the channel here and manually add. It will appear and you can make a remark for it. So that's the way to do it. And also if you have dimmer, and then you can also drag it to this page. So if you want to control you can select the control type. For example, we have dimmer channel, switch channel, CCT, which can control the intensity and the color temperature of the light from DALI module and RGB. You can use this. And you can also trigger icon for the light. So it's quite different from DLP. So please pay attention to this. And also runtime, you can set runtime from here. So that's a way to control lights from DLP. And then you may ask, as I have scene, and this is page for light. If I want to control the scene of the light, then please click this scene page. And then enable it and make a remark. For example, scene 1. And the icon, you can also select icon for living, for example, and then press save. And click scene 1 to enter the targets. So you can enter about 99 scenes in 99 targets for this scene. So if I just want to trigger scene number 1 of the relay of zone 1, then just do this. And press save. And so you can also make scene. For example, I don't want to trigger scene of the relay. I want to trigger different channels. You can create a scene here. For example, read 5 targets. I want to create a scene, and this is just for example. And this is channel 1 and intensity 100%. And for example, this is my home play. I want to control it. And this is music control and the different targets. You can enter different targets to create a scene. This is something like the combination mode. So I can enter different targets. So the DLP can do something like this and press save. So you can create a scene which is called party mode, then a scene to trigger the lights, music, AC, curtain, and so on. You can create a scene like this. So that's how to do it. And you can just trigger a scene of the light, and you can make a scene. But for DLP, as we don't have a function called scene, but we have a combination mode, right? Let me show you one more time. So if you want to trigger different targets, not just a relay, but AC, music, and so on, then how to do it from DLP? You just have to make a combination on and off and go to target setting. You can create a mode like this as well. And read the targets for it, also 99. Read, and then after the read finished, you can create different targets. Now just the scene, sequence, so on. So you can select different type to control. That's how to make it. So here are some difference between the DLP and the granite display. That's how to do it. So now as we talk about the light control, now let's move on to our curtain module. Let me explain the control of the curtain with our curtain module. This one is our curtain module, and this is the model number of it. Double-click it, enter the setting page of it. So this is for example, channel 1 is for the blind, and the channel 2 is for the shutter. You can see channel 1 forward and backward. And always remember, as this curtain module cannot read the time the curtain takes to be fully opened, so you have measured the time it takes to fully open the curtain and enter the duration. It is very important. For example, it takes 9 seconds to fully open the curtain, so I have to enter 10 in this, or you can just enter 9, but in my opinion, I always add a time longer than the real situation, and then press save. And you can also test from here. So that's how to make the program of the curtain. So always remember to make a duration for it, because this module cannot detect the time by itself. But we have other modules like MWM65. This is a curtain model, and it can detect the time, so you don't have to enter it by yourself. So after press save, we can use our granny display or DLP or any other panel to control it. So now let's go to our granny display and click scene or curtain. And you can also drag the curtain into here. Then you finish the programming. So if you have so many targets, please do not do this. When you drag it, it may make mistakes. So always enter it manually. And then you can enter for blind or shutter or so on. Select a type for it. Then you have finished the programming of the DLP. Or you can enter, for example, I want to control the shutter of my room. Then it is channel 2 of this curtain module manually add, and it is a shutter. I have to make a remark for it and select a type for it. Then press save. So you have finished the programming of using granny display to control the curtains. And if you want to use DLP, and it is also quite easy. Double-click model column, go to this page. For example, I want this to control the shutter. And the single on, and the shutter, single off. Then I can make a target for it, read. And the curtain module's subnet ID and device ID, I forget. 111. Then go to this, enter 1 and 11. So I can know I want to control the curtain from the device 11 of subnet 1. And the type, curtain switch, right? Because we want to control the curtain. And I don't know what is this parameter for. Then press save. It will tell me it is the curtain number. As the shutter is curtain number 2, press curtain number 2. And I want it to open, save. And this is for off. read. So curtain switch to off, close, save, and press save here. So you can also change the button from here or change the page from here. You don't have to go back to this page to change, so you don't have to always click target setting, just change switch. For example, I want to program page number 2 and it's Ace button, then I can change it from here. So I don't have to go back to this, click this, and click this over and over again. Just have to do it from here. So it's quite easy. So that's how to program our curtain module. So that's very easy. And as I have showed you that we can use relay module to control curtain. So that's how to do it. So any questions about this module doesn't support to open the curtain by only 50. If the module supports percentage control, then you can use it for percentage control. But this module are only for the open and close and stop for the Yes, we have. But I doesn't remember the model number of it. Let me see if I can find. If I'm not mistaken, this one can support the percentage control. So we have modules like this one, but I doesn't remember the model number of it. So we have curtain modules support percentage control. This is another curtain module of our company. I can send the data sheet for you directly. Yes, you can do some logic to stop after some time. But you have to use a logic module to do it. So if we have time for today, I will show you how to use logic module to make it stop after some time, because logic module doesn't contain in this course. And if you want to learn about logic module, if we don't have time, I can send you user manual and the videos for it. So I have to move on because some of them are our new friends. So logic is a little bit complicated for them. But I think after you know how to do the basic training, it is very easy for you guys to learn, because I think you guys are very smart. So later I will show. I can give you user manual later, but I have to finish the basic course today. And this is our logic module. So if you want, I can go over this very fast. So this is the logic module of our company, and you can make some targets for it. This is what my colleagues have made. So you can go to the pin setup and set a time for it. And then here are the time I want. It is the condition for which is the time, and the targets. I can end the commands, just like what we do for trigger the relay. That's quite easy for you to learn. So I think you guys will know it after we learn the basics, because it's quite easy. So you can create a table and drag this. For example, you can select the conditions, and for example, you can type UV switch as the condition and set targets for it. So that's quite easy. I think if you don't want difficult use, then it is quite easy for you to learn. Sometimes they want to do a very complicated logic, so that's a little bit difficult. But for very easy use, you will understand immediately. And so after we finished talking about the lighting and the shading, we will move on to our climate control. So if you have any other questions about it, please tell me. I can show you again. So if we have some time left, I will show you how to do logic. It is quite easy for you to learn. So we have infrared IR emitters, so we can use infrared control to control different ACs. Now let me show you how to do it. The same, double click the model number. And as this is a 4-channel IR emitter, so it can control 4 devices. And you can, for example, the channel 1 is for the AC of my bedroom. So I have to make a remark. And then press save. Always remember to press save. And click this. This is the IR codes. So these 4 index are in yellow, and these 4 are only for AC control. And the others, you can change it for AC or fan or TV or AC, but these 4 channel, these 4 index are fixed for AC, so please note. And then as my AC mode, AC in this training box is in Chinese. When I switch the language to Chinese, I cannot find it. So I have to add it before the training. So now let me make an introduction from channel 2. So if channel 2 is for another AC, which is an aux AC in my living room, press save. And IR codes. And then AC, right? Because we have some built-in IR codes for different brands of different equipment. So you can select a brand first, AC, and then you can find different brands, aux, and so on. So you can select the brands. And then, as here are so many different codes, then how can I know which one can match my AC, which one can control my AC? Then you can click this Start Auto and use the emitter to point the AC, and when you hear the AC, when you hear the code can make the AC work, then you can save the code to this page. For example, this code can make my AC work, and then I click Save. And you see the AC 26 will appear in this page. So if this is for the channel 1, right? If your AC are connected to channel 2, then please select channel 2 to test. Sometimes our new users will make mistakes, like his AC is connected to channel number 1, and then he learn codes, he find the codes, but he used channel number 2, and then it will make mistake and will not match the codes accordingly. So if your AC are connected to channel 2, then please select from here. You have to select the right channel to test. Otherwise, we won't make it. So sometimes when they select the wrong channel and they came to ask me, why when I use the channel 2 to point the AC, the fan, but it doesn't make a reaction and the code are in your code library, but it cannot work. So you can judge it from here if you select the right code. So when I select the code and then select the brand and the start auto, and it will move the codes automatically. And then, for example, this code make my AC work, but I want to check if all modes will work. I can change from here and test. And also, when I upload the code to this page, I can also test from here, power on and close, mode, and the fan and temperature to see if the AC will work accordingly. Then I can press save. So that's the way to test the code of the code library. So that's quite easy. What you need to do just to match a code. And then press save. So if you use the codes, you have find the codes, you can go to the DLP to control the AC, double click, go to the AC page, and then enter the subnet ID and device ID of the IR emitter, and this is 1 and 15. And the HVAC number is the channel number, because as I told you, the AC in my training box is connected to use channel number 1 to control it. Then just enter this. And as some of you are our new clients, and the AC, the IR emitter module will be newly purchased. So please select this. This is for new. Then when you do this, you have finished the programming. Just to enter it and select the correct HVAC number. That's the channel number in this case. And press save. Then you can go to the DLP to test whether to press the button in the DLP to see whether it will work or not. Then that's how to do the programming of DLP. So if you want to use the granny display to control the IR AC, please also go to the AC page of the granite and enable it and make a remark. This is for my bedroom. Just leave it. And enter the same. Enter the subnet ID and device ID of the AC. And also you can select temperature source. You can use external or inner sensor and so on. Use inner sensor and press save. So now you can go to the granite display to test it. So that's the way to do it. That's quite easy. And and sometimes you may have devices and its IR codes are not inside our built-in codes library. Then you have to learn the codes. And as my camera is not good, so I want you to know it. And I have found a video which is shot by one of our tutor. And later I will send this to you, so you will know how to do to learn the IR codes accordingly. So you have to buy an IR learner like this. And in this video, the tutor Nick shows clearly how to learn codes, and so you can understand clearly. I'm sorry, because the camera is not good. If I open the camera, so you cannot see anything, and it may make you feel confused and think use IR learner is quite difficult. So now I will use later after the training, when we take a break, I will upload through WeTransfer and send this video to you. So this tutor explain how to learn IR codes one by one, the steps one by one. So you will learn it, so it will be more clear. So later I will show you. He will introduce the IR learner and how to make it very clearly. So I will send this to you. If after watch this video, you feel very confused about it, please feel free to contact us. And this is our website. You can go to the online chat to find our technical support. So you can chat with us. Let me send this website to you. So you can find our products and datasheet from here. For the energy consumption monitoring, we have one module, but as this training doesn't contain this, so the training box doesn't have such module. I will send you user manual about this. And the high stats, I don't understand this. What is adjust slider in AC page? You mean from the DLP? Let me check this. Just. This is for the temperature, to make a compensation for the temperature. But as AC, just to control the AC, we don't need the temperature source, so we don't use this. I have. It will be the echo in the AC page in granite is to enter the, so it will be energy saving. This is, if you see like this, it will, we have inside the program to make energy save. It will be energy save. You mean this, right? You can use this and it can save some energy because the engineer have made a inside program to do it. That's for energy save. And for the and for the power consumption module, as I don't prepare for the training box, I will send you user manual. If you have any other questions about it, please register an account for the for our website, or you can ask yourselves to add you to group chats in WeChat, in Skype, WeChat, or so on. So you can ask us about the use of the modules. So am I clear about all this? If not clear, please type your questions and I will answer it. So this is for the IR learner. And now, later I will introduce you how to use the MAC module, and it is for the HVAC. So now I will upload the video through WeTransfer so that you can learn how to use the IR learner. And for this Windows 10 and Windows 11 about the IR learner, I haven't met such situation before. After the training, I will feedback you. Can you please give me your email address? I need to check with them. I never heard about situation about that before. So please give me your email address. I will check and feedback you after the training. Okay, I'll take a screenshot of this. And now let's take a break. It is 17 past 18. So let's take a short break, about 10 minutes. And when we come back, we will talk about our HVAC module. Now I will upload the video for you guys. So if you want to learn how to use the IR learner, then please refer to this video. If this video doesn't make it clear, then please contact me. Sorry, we have, as some of you may join our training for many times, but the camera issue still exists. We have changed cameras and we have made the in the network better, but it still have. But when I try to do it online, but the effect is still not good. I think Teams have made some restrictions for us, so we can now make it very. We can now make the online training
touch the
much better. So I'm sorry about that. But I
Even
find
later.
a way. I will later show you the videos about it, and I think it's easy for you to learn. So now let's take a break. If you have questions, you can type. I will answer them one by one. Hello, guys. Now let's continue the training of the devices. Now let me copy this link and send to you guys. So if you are interested about the IR Learner to learn codes, please refer to this video. Sorry, I don't know if the software teams have made some restrictions in our region. So no matter what camera we use, you can now see my see what I'm doing clearly through the camera. So please refer to this video. Nick has made a video about this, and I have watched this, and I know he made detailed introduction about how to use the IR Learner, so you will understand. If Nick has something doesn't make it clear, please feel free to contact me. I will show you how to do this. So we have talked about the IR Learner and IR emitter and how to use panels to control it. Then I will show you how to use our HVAC module, this one. So now let's go to the basic information of it. Double clicking. So here are the air condition delay. You can set some delay for the air conditioning, and the valve fan voltage setting. You can change it from here. It's up to you. And from here, you can test the relay and also the mode and the fan speed. This is the basic information. And here you can test. So inside the basic information page, you can also test whether the AC will work appropriately from here. You can test the on and off and the mode of it. So that's how to use this part. So that's quite easy. Now let's move on. And the complex mode and the fan cooling mode are not included in this training. So we just introduce you how to use the normal mode of it. And this is the normal mode of it. And you can click configure. So for this AC module, we also have eco mode. So it can save energy to some extent. You can select this or not. And here you can select the temperature type. So it depends on you. And you can, for example, you don't want the fan auto mode, you can disable it or enable it from here. So if you don't have dehumidifier for your AC, you can disable it, then it will not appear. And press save. And here you can change the temperature range. So if you don't want it to be 30, you can adjust it to change the temperature range. That's the way to do it. So that's quite easy when you do this. And here is also operation configuration. And it is quite something different from the IRAC. So if you want to use panel to control the HVAC AC, we call HVAC. So if you select the AC to be fully controlled, then the DLP or other panel must be slave control. So you have to remember that only one of them, either the AC or the panel, will be fully controlled. So if you select the AC to do the fully control, and it will manage the operation of all of it. So that's the fully control. Now I select the AC as fully controlled. So when I do configuration for the panel, then the panel must be in slave control. And here, you can adjust the temperature as well. So if you find the temperature are not the same, and here are some gap between the temperature, you can adjust the temperature from here to make some temperature compensation. And you can also select the temperature source. For example, you have connect temperature sensor to the to this module, so you can use the temperature sensor. Then you select refer to the inside sensor. Then enter the sensor's ID. If you are our old friends, you will know that each sensor has a number. Then you have to enter the number of the sensor. The number will be engraved into the sensor. So you can find the sensor's number and enter here. Then you can use sensor 1 as the temperature source. For example, the number in the sensor is 12. Then just enter it. And you can use 4 sensors in this AC, but if you just want one of it, you can select just one of it. So this sensor's number, then please find the sensor or probe. You may call it temperature probe. Find the number engraved into the sensor, then enter the number of it. Then it will act as the temperature source. Or you don't connect the temperature sensor into the AC module, then you can use the DLP as the temperature source. Because the DLP has a temperature sensor, so it can serve as the temperature source for the AC. So you can enter the subnet ID and device ID of the DLP. And the channel, as the DLP only have one temperature source, so it is fixed to channel number 1. So if you use the DLP as the temperature source, so please select enter 1 in here, and that is the channel of the temperature sensor of the DLP. And you can select the interval for reading the temperature. So it's up to you. Normally, in normal situation, we put it 30 seconds. Then press save. And you can also test the function from here. And if you connect temperature sensor to this module, you can test whether the temperature sensor gives you the correct temperature. You can read it from here. But as I don't connect it to my AC module, so it will count 0. So that's the configuration of it. And after you did this, you can use a DLP panel to control the AC. DLP panel can only control one AC, and the AC module is subnet 1 and the device ID is 12. And the type as if you are the AC module are newly purchased from our company, please always select the type as version 2. And as I select the AC module as fully controlled, so it will control the AC running. So I don't have to check this box because the AC module will control the running of the AC itself. If I select the AC module to be slave control, then I have to use the DLP panel to do the fully control. So I have to check this box. So after this, press save. And as HVAC module can only control one AC, so the number should always be number 1. So that's how to do it. Press save. Then you can use your DLP to control the HVAC. And you can also use the DLP panel to control the AC. But Granite is different from DLP. Granite display can control 8 AC. You can enable it and then make a remark. For example, this is my HVAC. And then as I select the AC as fully controlled, so I select none here and enter the AC number and this one, and also you can select temperature source. For example, I want to use the DLP, then enter here, press save. Then that's the way to do configuration for the Granite to control AC. And even though floor heating is for control floor heating, but the configuration are quite the same as the HVAC module. So if you know how to do the configuration of HVAC, you will know how to do the floor heating module. They are the same. So that's how to use the DLP and Granite display to control HVAC. And the HVAC also have another function, which is called host and slave function. For example, you have about 3 HVAC in your living room, and you want other HVAC to act the same as the host HVAC, then you can do this. For example, one host can follow 8 slaves. You have 2 slaves, for example, and enter the subnet ID and device ID of it. Then you can make them act the same. So when you control the host AC, for example, you switch its mode to auto mode, then the slaves will act the same as the host module. So you don't have to turn on and turn off all of it. They will act the same. but the IR emitter doesn't have this function. Only our HVAC module have such functions. So you can enter the subnet ID and device ID of the slave. So it will become his slave. That's the way to do it. So if you have a big project and the area is very big and you have to add many AC in here and you don't want to control them one by one, you can do something like this. So that's our AC climate control. Sorry, my friend, we doesn't make such books, but we have user manual and we have record for all of these trainings. And yesterday I have sent it to you. It is a Google Drive. You can find all the user manuals and all the videos of our training. If you want to learn about it, you can find the Google Drive. Let me see. Yes, this is the link. Let me resend it. So that, and this is a good advice. I will talk to my colleagues if it's possible. But nowadays we only have record for all the trainings. So I think, thank you for your advice. I will check with my colleagues if it's possible to make such books. So that's all about our climate control. If you have questions, please ask me. If no questions, we will move on. Because I think you guys are very smart, so I doesn't make everything in very detail. So if I'm not make it clear enough, please feel free to ask me to show you again. Sorry, Bernard. Nowadays, we doesn't support integrate CCTV to control panel. We are now integrate with the cameras of Dahua, but the product manager are still working on it. At home, our clients use this. Use this one. So, but panels doesn't support this. We are nowadays integrate with Dahua Intercom. So later, if we can work with them, we will inform you. Any other questions? If no more questions about this part, I will move on to our sensors. So you can think about questions that you want to ask me, and I will show you how to use our sensors. If you have questions, I will answer it later. So I have selected this 7-in-1 sensor to show you how to use our sensor. If you know how to use our 7-in-1 sensor and you have my word that you know how to use all the sensors of our company, they are the same. The only difference is that functions. So now let's go to talk about the sensors. Double-click it to enter the basic information page of the sensor. So here are the LED indicators, and this is the PIR LED. You can enable it or disable it. So it is the working LED and it is in green. So if you don't want it, you can disable it by uncheck this box. But I want to keep it, so I check this box. And the sensors, here, this is our 7-in-1 sensor, so have functions like this. So you can enable them by check the box. So here are situations that our friends will not enable it and come to ask us why my sensor cannot work. So please check this box. And for the temperature, for the brightness, and the PIR sensor and dry contact has a UV switch number. So you can disable it or enable it with a panel. Later I will show you how to do this. So this is the function for enable or disable sensors. And this is the sensor sensitivity. You can adjust the sensitivity of the PIR sensor and also the temperature compensation. So and this is the constant lux function. So you can enable it and make some settings, so you will have a constant lux function. So that's the function of it. So I remember when I made a training in July, and one of my clients asked me about if the PIR sensor is working too good, and then maybe an animal or a fan will make it work. So, but he doesn't want this to work, so he can adjust the sensitivity of it. So it will not trigger targets by mistake. That's the way to do it. And here is also a page for read the status, and it is for test. Later I will show you how to use it. Now let me give you an example about how to use our sensor. For example, you want the light to turn on automatically at night. And then you can check this box. You can enable this logic, and this is, for example, I call it night mode. Then at night, the sensor, when the brightness sensor detects darkness, it will turn on light automatically. So I have to enter this. For example, when the lux is below 50, then the sensor will think the night is coming and it will turn on lights automatically. As I only use one sensor, so here is no relation between sensors, so I can choose it as all or and. If I choose all, then it means if I also enabled PIR sensor, then when I select all as the relation of the two sensors, then when the condition meets the lux below 50, it can trigger the targets. If I select AND, then only the two conditions meets, the targets will be triggered. So as I just enable one sensor here, so it doesn't matter which relation I select. So now, when the lux below 50, I want to turn on my bedroom's lights automatically. So it is two targets, right? Two targets means the condition is met and will trigger targets. And the fourth target's configuration is for example, the lux is more than 50, then it doesn't meet this condition, right? So it is false. So the condition not meet, then I use the false targets configuration. So as I want to trigger the first channel of my relay, and it is for my bedroom, if you remember. So I will make a target for it. And my relay is subnet 1, and the device ID is 5. Then enter it, and it is for single channel control. And I remember the parameters, so I can press save directly. So each condition, you can put 10 targets. So as in this situation, I just want only one target. So I just put one. If you want more, then please read more and enter more targets for it. And press save. After I do this, then the light will turn on automatically when the sensor detects darkness. And also, I want the light to turn on I want the light to turn off when the lux is more than 50, so I can go to the false targets configuration and then turn off it. So that's the way to do it. And we always recommend to put some delay, because if you don't put some delay, you will not know. So if here the lux, but for brightness sensor, this situation won't occur. If you use the PIR sensor, you will know then the light may turn on and turn off frequently. So we always recommend to put some delay for this. So here is an interval you can judge. So please make it. Or if you don't want to make a false targets configuration in here, but you do want it to turn off the lights automatically when the lux is more than 50, you can make another logic, make it enable it, and press save. And then also use the brightness sensor, and the lux is from 51, I think, and like this, and press save. And make some targets. For example, you want to turn off it. So by doing this, you don't have to make the false targets configuration. So if you want some delay, then put some delay in here. When you make the configuration and press save, you can test whether the sensor will work or not. Then you can enable this brightness sensor and then adjust it to 0 lux. And as I have set it to turn on light automatically when the lux is below 50, and when I click test, the light will turn on automatically. So you can use this to test. And as I have made a force targets configuration and a day mode, in normal situation you don't have to make a day mode and force targets configuration. Just a two-way. You can select one of it to do it, and then adjust the brightness. Then it will turn off the light when you click test. That's the way to do it. So now let me give you another example. For example, if you want the light to turn on at night when movements detect. So you have to use the PIR sensor and the brightness sensor, and this is called, for example, night mode 2. And enable brightness sensor and the PIR sensor because you want you want the light to turn on when the lux is below 50. Adjust this. And the movement detect. And the relation between them must be and because you want both conditions to be met. So that's the way to do it. Press save. And then make targets for it. For example, still these targets, just for example, save, and also make some force targets configuration. So when one of the condition is not met, for example, there is no movement or no light, no lux, then the condition will not met, then we'll turn off the light. Then you can do it. 0, save. And save, make some, press save again. So when you do this, then the lights will turn on only when the lux below 50 and the movement detects. That's how to do it. And you can test from here as you use two sensors. Then you can adjust it movement and lux below 50. Obviously, the two conditions are met. Then click test. The light will turn off automatically, or turn on automatically. That's the way to do it. And as I think you can understand, so I will show you another situation. When I make this logic, but as for example, this is my bedroom, right? If the sensor is too close to me or something will trigger wrongly. So I want to disable this logic. So how can I do this with the panel? Then, as I have mentioned, each sensor has a UV switch number. So I can go to my logic module to make a time for it to work or not work. For example, I don't want this sensor to work during the day because it is for the night. But if I make logic here, then there is no time restriction for this logic to work. And during the day, for example, if I use this logic, just a PIR sensor. Let me make another logic. For example, movement. As here is nothing as here is no limitation for this logic. So every time, no matter it is at night or in the day, when the movement detects, then the light will work over and over again. So it will consume a great deal of energy. So I don't want this. Let me make a target for it. So if I make this logic, so every time when a movement is detected, then the light will turn on. So it's very annoying. So I will use the time to limit it so it will only work at night. So now it will use our logic module. As these are set by my colleagues for test, I won't delete this. So you can select another page, create a logic. For example, create an OR table or AND table, because here is only one condition, because I don't want the PIR sensor to work during the day. For example, I can set a condition which is time, right? From 6 o'clock to like 19 o'clock successfully. So the condition is this one, and the name, disable the PIR sensor, PIR. Okay, and the conditions are from 6 o'clock till 19 o'clock. The PIR sensor will be disabled. Then how to disable it? Let's find the sensor. You see the UV switch number for the PIR sensor is 253, right? 253. So if I want to disable it, I will turn off this UV switch. So this universal switch is from the from the 7-in-1 sensor, and the subnet ID you can see from here is 1 and device ID 14. And this control type is UV switch. And I don't know these parameters. Save. So this is the switch. You can see this is the switch number and the switch status. I want to disable it. So I want to disable this PIR sensor during the day. So this is 253. And disable, I then turn off this. So after I make a configuration like this, so every day in the day, the PIR sensor will be disabled. As you have disabled it, you have to make a target to enable it. So I have to make another table to set a condition. For example, as this 19 o'clock, it will be disabled. Then from 19, then this is the time. So then during the night, you can see the PIR sensor will be enabled. Then add commands just to turn on the UV switch. Then the PIR sensor can work. You see, 253. And then off, press save. And press here. Then with these conditions, so the PIR sensor can work during the night and not work in the day. So that's how to use our logic module to make some timing for it. And sometimes our clients want to test it as the logic module has time, right? It is for timing. So you can select PC time and broadcast the time to test. So press save. So the time will be the same as my computer. You see the time is this one. So it will be the same. If you want to test whether this logic will work or not, right? Now, this time is between the range from 6 o'clock to 19 o'clock, as this is 18 o'clock. So it is between the time range. So obviously, this logic has make effect. So it will turn on. It will turn red. It means this condition has been met. So the PIR sensor will be disabled, so you cannot trigger the targets. And if I want to see if this table will work or not, I can change the time from here. Just change it manually, for example, from here, and press save. And then you have to broadcast time to the bus cable, so then the targets will know the time. So that's how to do it. And now you see, as the time range are between this range, so the condition has been met, and this one will be in red. It means the condition has been met. That's the way to do it. So if you want to disable other sensors, you can do the same thing like this. So that's quite easy. And for the UV switch, for the dry contact, you can select them and then enter a UV switch. You can set it as an example. But different from the PIR sensor or brightness sensor, it will detect it. But for this UV switch, you have to make it a switch ID and use a panel to turn on or turn off it. And then the targets will met, then you can trigger it. So that's the way to do it. For example, if I set a UV switch 200 and 0 as a condition, on as a condition, and will trigger targets, I can enter targets for it and press save. Then this is my condition, right? For example, I have make some targets for it. And then go to a DLP panel. Then just go to another page, make it valid. For example, single on. And you can make remarks. And target setting, read. Then as I set the UV switch, right? My sensor is 1 and 14 and the UV switch. So enter the UV switch number when it's off. So it's the condition. And press save. Press save. So when I press this button on the DLP, it will turn on the UV switch of my 7-in-1 sensor. And as it turns on, it has an internal logic because I have made some targets for it. And then it will trigger the targets accordingly. That's how to use it. So just for example, so I didn't make a targets for this logic. So if you want to trigger, now use the PIR sensor or brightness sensor, you just want to use a UV switch. Then you can select this and enter the number of it. And enter targets for it, press save, and use a panel to turn on this box. Turn on this UV switch, then it will trigger targets accordingly. So that's the way to do it. Any questions about this part? Sorry, this system has no power backup. For the logic module, you can use a battery to support the power. So, but other devices, when the whole system is being cut off, then it will not work. But for logic module, if it has been cut off the power, as it can use the battery, so it will still work. Nowadays, we don't make a power backup for it, but for logic module, it has. You can add a battery for it, so it can still work when there is no power. Am I clear about this? If I'm not clear, please talk to me or type it to me. Okay. Do you have any questions about the sensors, about this 7-in-1 sensor? If that doesn't make it clear, I can show you one more time. If no more questions about this, I will, please. Okay. A moment, please. It is loading. As this 7-in-1 sensor has dry contacts, so you can make it disconnect or connect. So set this as the condition. So you can disconnect it, or for example, these dry contacts are connected to a door, a mechanical switch. So you can press the mechanical switch to disconnect or connect the dry contact. So you can set connect as a condition, and then also the same. always remember to press save. For example, this is connect to a door magnetic, I think, and make it valid. So every time as this dry contact is connected to a door magnetic, and then when you open or close the door, the dry contact will be connect or disconnect, then it can trigger targets. For example, when the door of your bedroom is open, and then you can turn on the again the light of your bedroom. Oh, sorry, for a light. And then that's the way to do it. When it is connected, you can turn on a light. And you can also make another condition. So the dry contact is disconnect. Then we'll turn off the light. So that's the way to use the dry contact. It depends on what kind of device you are connected to. You can connect to mechanical switch or door magnetic and so on. So that's how to use it. No, the setting won't disappear. Just no power, the data won't lose, so don't worry about that. It won't disappear. You don't have to. If the setting disappear when power off, then I think it is an extremely large bug. Because when sometimes you go outside for travel or for something, you may cut off the power of your whole house. If every time the keep logs for later auditing, you may it won't have log. So for example, today I do this configuration, and later I will make some modifications or changes. It won't have log, so it doesn't have that. You have to make a file to record all of this. If you want to trigger call, currently only Dahua intercom. But for work with dry contact, no device can trigger call or SMS. But if you use it with security module or dry contact, you can make it to send notifications to HDR on. And I can send you user menus for you. It's quite easy. Notification. So it will send a notification to your mobile phone through our HDR on app, or send an email to your email box. Hi friend, this is the way to do it. If you use notification, you do some configuration, and you trigger the door. Then it will send the notifications to your mobile phone through email or HDR on, so you will know then if somebody opened the door. That's what I mentioned to protect the safety of your house. Later, I will introduce you how to use the dry contact module, and I will tell you something about how to send messages. But currently, we only support send messages to your HDR on and send to your email address. Later, as we still have time, I will introduce it. And here is the menu for it. I will show you later because we have time. So if all of you are interested about it, I will show you how to use it now. Let's move on to our dry contact module. Then it has such functions. So this is our, let me find it. This is our dry contact module. And the first channel is connected to a door magnetic. And if you want it to trigger a notification when someone open your door, then I will show you how to do it. So first, as you want to know it, here are important informations. You have to make a remote information for the gateway first, and I have to take a screenshot for you, as you are our friends from. If I want screenshots, I have to log in this WeChat for company. So if you want to trigger this, first you have to make the remote information for your gateway, and later you have to upload data to the HDR-on. So if I want to upload data to HDR-on, so I can control it from my office or when I'm not in my house, then that's the way to do it. The group name, you can name it by yourself, it doesn't matter, but always remember to use English words. So but here is a password, you can make it according yourself, but this is fixed. This is the server that you have to use. And the alternate, please leave it, you don't have to use it. And time zone, you can select it according to your region, and the zone enable and press save. So this server is very important, and you have to select the remote type. And when you make this, press save. So let me send it to you. If you want the HDR on, can control remotely, then you have to make a setting like this first. In the menu, it may not use this server, but nowadays all of our foreign friends will use this server. So please save this screenshot so you will know what to enter from here. That's the way to do it. And after this, you can make some configuration for your dry contact module. For example, this one, right? I want it to be a mechanical switch, and as I want to use this dry contact, I have to enable this. This enable log function I will introduce after I show you how to trigger notification from HDR-on. So let me show this one by one. So if you want to use this channel, then always remember to enable this channel. Then click target setting. target setting as my gateway is subnet 1. And so let me show you how to, and I'm a little bit forget about the configuration. So I have to show you, I have to open the user menu as well, sorry. So the menu, right? The first step is to set remote information but the server is different. So please always save the picture I have sent to you. And then go to the UV switch. So if you want this to trigger okay, I remember right now. So my gateway ID is 1 and 0 because I want to trigger it. And the type must be UV switch. And this is the UV switch number. I want it to be on. And press save. And as if you are using a mechanical switch, so it will have on and off, two status. You have also to enter this. You can copy the select row and off. So every time when the door is triggered, it will send a notification to me. The UV switch number, you can enter anything you want, but you have to remember it. But if you want to send notifications to your HDL or your email address to inform you here are some emergency situations, the subnet ID and device ID must be the same as your gateway. The gateway to make the remote information. Because here are cases you have several gateway. And after this, press save. And also press save again. That's the way to do it. After you make it, you can check if the targets have been saved. After this, let's see if here are questions. Okay, no questions. So when you do this, you have to go to HDR on. Some of you may already know it, as this is to show notification for you. I create a project. First, you have to add device. Add the one IP because I am use the M bus. Then it is the 1 port bus. It is for wired. And the subnet ID is 1 and device ID 0. The MAC, please note, I have showed you, and the copy MAC have to enter the MAC of this gateway. And then paste. So after enter this, press save. And then add device. As this is UV switch, right? Have to add 1. 2. So have to create a room first. Then add the device because I want to trigger the targets and enter the targets. So it doesn't add. Okay, so the subnet ID and device ID is what I have entered for the dry contact module. So this is the target, 1, 0, and the UV switch. So I have to enter it here. And sorry, this is now UV switch. Okay, yes. And the channel ID is the UV switch number, so 1, 0. And press save. Status on. After this, and you can add some lights for your project. For HDR on, it's just to, for example, my bedroom have relay, then I can add it here. So, but now I'm introduce you how to make notifications. You can do it from here, and then upload this project to HDR on. When you upload HDR on, please log in your account and into HDR on, and then make your mobile phone connect to the same network as HDR as the gateway. That means to connect the same Wi-Fi or same network. Then click Find All. Then it will automatically appear your account and your upload the device to it. Then it will work. And then when upload successfully, I don't know why there is no reaction, because I didn't find an account and I click upload wrongly, so it will appear. Now let me reopen this software. So when I upload the data to HDR on, I have to go to the HDL cloud server to log in. For example, this is my account and password. And then enter the same, create a home. For example, this is Michelle for the training of like this. Then also add gateway. Then the gateway device MAC is the gateway's MAC. So copy MAC here. And enter it. And project name is the same as what you have put to this. You see, project name is this one. Copy it. And the username, Michelle, must be accordingly with what you've paid, what you've put in the basic information page of the gateway. In normal situation, when you put this, it will appear. You don't have to put it. But as the gateway has no internet today, I just use another internet. So it cannot upload data. So in normal situation, when you upload the data to HDL, then the gateway's ID and home and the name for the residence will appear automatically. You don't have to enter it one by one. Just the training box doesn't have internet, so I cannot upload it. So I can show you, but it's quite easy. It will appear automatically and then go to message page to make notification. Add message. For example, the subnet ID and device ID, and it is the same as. The message number is the subnet ID, and notice or alarm. You can select or alarm via email or app push message. And message is, for example, someone breaks in, and yes. Then when the door magnetism was connect or disconnect, then it will send a message to your mobile phone or your email address. That's the way to do it. So you can see we have write it for the you can see this is the dry contact module address, UV switch number. So it was written clearly. Okay, sorry, I've made mistake. This is the dry contact module address. From this, it will not enter the gateway, but I have to edit. And this is the dry contact module. Let me see. What is this? 16. And the UV switch number is 1, right? I put it as 1, then press yes. So when the door magnetism is connect or disconnect, it will send you messages to remind you. So if you are interested about it, please save the file. The file I've sent you to make notifications. So am I make it clear? If not clear, I can make it again. And I'm sorry because I have been a long time now make programming like this, so I'm a little bit forget about the programming. But if you follow the steps as what we do in the user manual, you will know it. Any questions about it? Because I'm afraid that I didn't make it clear. As we have changed the servers, later I will send you a link of the record of this training, and I also will modify this user manual for you because the server is different from the past. So I don't want this to misguide you. I will modify this. But for now, please save the screenshot. So that's the way to do it. And also, sometimes, so guys, any questions about this part? If I'm not making it clear, please contact me. Okay, if no more questions about this part, I will show you how to disable and enable the dry contact sensor. For example, if you want to use a sensor from third party, then you want to do the same thing to enable or disable it. Then you have to use this enable lock. When you check this box, that means this channel number 4, can be enabled or disabled. When it is enabled, then, for example, this is connected to a third party. Sensor. So then you can enable or disable it and make targets. So if it is a third-party sensor and as is dry contact, and then the dry contact is connect or disconnect, then it will trigger some targets. You can enter targets here. So it's a little bit different from the 7-in-1 sensor. So you can trigger a thing. Save. And then I don't want this sensor to work. So how can I make a configuration for this? The same. For example, let me go to logic module. As this logic module has so many data, so it will take a time to load. So if I don't want this sensor to work during the day, then I can create a table, the same. As you know how to select time, I will modify from the original table. So just the time is the same. I don't want to use the PIR sensor from third party during the day. So click Add Commands. And then enter the ID of the dry contact module. And also, but this time is quite different. You have to use panel control. It's just a principle, but it's not. You don't have to use a panel. Just you have to select the control type as panel control, and then you have to select. Let me find it. Button control, and then make it the button 4 and the valid. Let me press save and explain it. So this one is a little bit hard for you to understand, but I think you can learn it very quickly. So you can see this is the dry contact module, but when I want to shield, or in other words, disable this third-party sensor, I have to use panel control, just a control type called panel control. And then the control and the select control button. And this is button 4, because this channel is the 4th channel. So the button number are the same as the channel number. And as this is the lock function, right? When I lock it, it cannot work. So when I make the lock valid, then this sensor will be disabled. And if I make it invalid, it means the lock will be invalid. So this channel can work. So this is, if you want to disable it, then you can use panel control type. So I don't know if I make it clear. So if you want to disable or enable it, then you have to use it. Use the panel control type to disable or enable it. So that's the way to do it. After I press save, make it valid. So it makes from 6 o'clock to 19 o'clock. This third-party sensor, third-party PIR sensor, which is connected to the fourth channel of the dry contact, will not work. So that's the way to do it. And if I want to enable it, then from this time, I can make it valid, make it invalid. Then, and the panel control button, the same, the fourth, and make it invalid. So the log, it will not log. Then it can work. So that's the way to do it. So I have introduced the use of it. Do you have any questions about it? If you have questions, please feel free to ask me. If I didn't make it clear, you can ask me to explain one more time. It doesn't matter. Yes, after finish the training, because tomorrow Kevin will show you about the KNX system. After all this training has been finished, Kalina will send you guys emails. So with a link of the record of this training. Dry contact to smoke. Yes. Oh, I will show you. Let me explain this first. She will send you a link of Google Drive of the record and presentation files about this training, and also a link for the test. After you pass the test, you will get a certification from our company. And the dry contact to smoke, because it is dry contact, so you have to make it the smoke sensor connect to the dry contact. And the diesel is in Chinese, smoke. So in my training box, this one is connected to a smoke sensor, and it is third-party smoke sensor. And you can set it as mechanical switch. Mechanical switch have two status, right? On and off. But single channel, but if it's not a mechanical switch, then you can use it on and off. It depends on the real situation. So when you make the wiring, the smoke sensor is connected to the dry contact. As the dry contact will be disconnect or connect, then it will trigger targets. So click this. Then you can make targets for it. So just for example, you can make different targets because I only remember the relay module. So I always make it as example, but the targets you can do what you want. And as the dry contact will be disconnect and connect, and then it will have on and off status. You can configure different targets for it and press save. So that's to do it. The configuration of the targets is the same. So, but it depends on the wiring, right? As the smoke sensor is connected to the dry contact. Then when the dry contact is on and off, is disconnect or connect, then it will trigger different targets. So am I clear about this? The test will be a long time. I mean, the test will valid for about 1 week. So it doesn't matter. You can take part in this when you have time to do it. For example, last time we made the test open for 7 days. So you can click the link to do the test within 7 days. It will be valid. So it doesn't matter. We don't make a fixed time to do the test. So you can do when you have time. About the dry contact to smoke, am I making it clear? If not clear, I can explain again. Hello, any questions about it? About the smoke, am I clear? And do you have any questions about the training? If which part I doesn't make it clear, please feel free to ask me. If no more questions, I will call it for a day. I will wait some time. So if you have questions. Yes, you can make a configuration. You have to deal with the security module if you want to disarm or arm. And either can use single on and off. It depends on you. If about disarm and arm, then you have to use with security module. But smoke sensor, you can select here. You can select it by yourself, single on and off, and also make targets for it. That's the way to do it. So you can select what you want. Also, you can use combination on and off. You can do as you want. So if you want to use security with strike contact module, then you have to enable this and enter the subnet ID and device ID of the security module and the area. And because this training box doesn't have security module, so I won't explain here, and the security not included in this course. If you want to learn it, I will send you user manuals. So, any other questions? CCT system, right now we are integrate with Dahua. But our company, HDL, doesn't have CCTV system, but we have integrate with Dahua and this one. I don't know its name. I will find it. A moment, please. If you use OnPro, then you can use HDLO, then you can use this. I don't know how to read it. This is for HDLO. For HDLO, we have this one. But if you use our new app, OnPro, please wait. For foreign clients, we will integrate with Dahua. But it is still under working. The engineers are still working on it. And the Dahua intercom are integrated with us. So you can use the intercom system. And the last training I have made about Dahua intercom. And here are some videos for it. So I can show you, for example, as Dahua can answer calls from our OnPro, a new app. So then you can see this is the page of the Dahua intercom, and you can take screenshot and unlock the door as the door is connected to the outdoor unit of Dahua intercom. So that's the interface of Dahua intercom in our own Pro. And fine. This is the intercom, so you can see. So this is the Dahua intercom. When you make a phone call from the outdoor unit, and also it will give you notifications, and you can answer the call from and open the door from on Pro. That's the use of it. For Dahua intercom, just for the outdoor and the indoor unit, it is available now, but have to buy from us. Intercom function is available now. But for CCTV, we are still working on it. And the link I sent you today and yesterday, this one has a training of how to do configuration for Dahua intercom. So if you want this, you can buy from us, and I will show you how to do the configuration. But CCTV of Dahua, now from HDL, you can contact your sales to buy Dahua intercom straight from us, because we have integrated with them. And only the Dahua intercom buy from us can answer call and unlock the door from our own Pro. But CCTV of Dahua is still under working, so it is not available. Yes, only Dahua intercom buy from us. Because inside the indoor unit of Dahua intercom, here is an wall app, something like HDL. You can make projects and upload the data to Dahua intercom. Then it can control the devices like my relay, AC, curtain, and so on. And also can work with our own Pro. So if you want all these functions of Dahua intercom, please contact your sales to buy intercom. The name for Ken, let me check. A moment, please. Please contact Olivia. And this is her email address. Only at HDL Automation. This is her email address. You can contact her. Her name is Olivia. Yes, she is the sales manager in charge of the business of your region. She will help you. If you want quotation or solution for a project, please ask her for help. It's my pleasure. Any other questions, guys? Okay, if no more questions for now, then I will call it for a day. If you have any other questions, please ask yourselves to add you into the Skype groups or WeChat groups, like something like this. So you can ask questions in the groups directly, and we will answer them one by one, or you can send questions to our ticket system so we can help you to solve all the issues and answer your questions. We will work every day except for our Spring Festival. Our working time is from 9 o'clock to 9 a.m. to 22 p.m. So if you have questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Let's call it for a day. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Hello, hello.
Which region are you come from? Hello, Bernard. Which region are you come from? Because Africa. I will ask, give me your Skype ID and okay, I will take notes. Then I will ask.
Hello, Michelle.
Yes.
Yes, I have a question before we close.
Because I don't know which group is for Africa and each company, because we not only divide the group for region. You see here Europe and MEA, but we also have groups for different companies. So I will check with Olivia and then I will add you to the Skype group. Yes, please leave your Please also leave your Skype ID for me. I will then check and your region. Or you can contact yourselves to add you I think your sales is Kalina. Please contact Kalina. She will add you to to the group accordingly, because I have no right to automation. This is Kalina's contact. Please contact her. She will help you. They make limitations. Okay, I will give it to Kalina, so she will help you. Let me take a note. Okay, and if you want to be added, then please contact your sales. She will help you. She or he will help you. Okay, thank you guys. Of course, yes, you can receive technical help from me. You have to register account from